ahead and get started. The copy of the Open Meetings Act is located on the north wall of the legislative chambers. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I would ask for all of us to take a moment of silence. One of our employees, Jan Johnson, in our office, lost her mother over the weekend, and also a longtime friend of the county, Senator Dwight Peterson's wife, Poe, passed away on Wednesday. So I would ask that we all take a moment of silence. Thank you. We'll begin with the agenda for the Douglas County Board of Equalization. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Boyle, Commissioner Duda, Commissioner Kraft, Commissioner Morgan, Commissioner Rogers, Commissioner Tusha.
Here.
Madam Chair.
Here. Item A, approval of the minutes of the Board of Equalization meeting held Tuesday, September 13, 2011. Item B, call for a meeting and set Tuesday, September 27, 2011 as a date for hearing on certified assessment corrections reflecting the addition of omitted property to the tax rolls or increased value on property.
Motion to approve A and B.
Second.
Any questions or comments? Please vote.
Madam Chair, we're having technical difficulties today, so if we could do it the old-fashioned way.
Roll call, please.
Okay. Commissioner Boyle, Commissioner Duda, Commissioner Kraft, Commissioner
Yes.
Morgan, Commissioner
Yes.
Rogers, Commissioner Tusha.
Yes.
Madam Chair.
Yes. Citizen comments. Is there anyone in the chamber wishing to speak to the Board of Equalization about an item not on the agenda? Seeing none, we'll move to resolutions. We have 3 resolutions.
Motion to approve and adjourn.
Any questions on the resolutions?
Second.
Please roll call.
Commissioner Boyle, Commissioner Duda, Commissioner Kraft, Commissioner Morgan, Commissioner Rogers,
Yes.
Commissioner Tusha.
Yes.
Madam Chair.
Yes. Agenda for the Douglas County Board of Commissioners. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Boyle, Commissioner Duda, Commissioner Kraft, Commissioner Morgan, Commissioner Rogers, Commissioner Tusha. Madam Chair.
Here. Item A, approval of the minutes of the Board of Commissioners meeting held Tuesday, September 13, 2011. Item B, approval of claims submitted for payment processed through Tuesday, September 20th, 2011, and the complete listing is in the office of the County Clerk Comptroller.
Motion approved.
Second.
Any questions or comments? Please roll call.
Commissioner Boyle, Commissioner Duda, Commissioner Kraft,
Yes.
Commissioner Morgan, Commissioner Rogers, Commissioner Tusha.
Yes.
Madam Chair.
Yes. Consent agenda, items A through H for a total of 8 items.
Motion approved.
Second.
Any questions or comments on the consent agenda? Roll call.
I do have a point of clarification, if I may. On the consent agenda, we're leasing on a month-to-month basis 350 square feet approximately for WIC supplies in the Center Shopping Center. Don't we have room in the new facilities for this? Whoever can answer this? No? Okay. Audie says we do not, so. Okay.
Okay. Roll call.
Commissioner Boyle.
Oh, I'm
Commissioner-
sorry.
That's okay, go ahead.
No? Okay.
Yes.
Commissioner Duda, Commissioner Kraft,
Yes.
Commissioner Morgan,
Yes.
Commissioner Rogers, Commissioner Tusha. Madam Chair.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Citizen comments. Is there anyone in the chamber wishing to speak to the board about an item not on the agenda? Seeing none, we'll move to public hearings. The first one is a Class CK license for beer, wine, and distilled spirits on and off sale catering for Hy-Vee, located at 1000 South 178th Street, here in Douglas County, Omaha, at 68118. Corporate Manager Scott Schlater of 3325 Longview Court, Lincoln, Nebraska, 68506. Good morning.
Good morning, Madam Chair. Mike Kelly, 7134 Pacific, appearing here with Scott Slater from Lincoln, Slaughter from Lincoln, and never mind. Anyway, we were here for questions. It was a joke that Commissioner Boyle said this morning was kind of tickled me. Anyway, so we're here for questions. I don't think there's any opposition, but we're here
I'd just like to see his passport.
Is there anyone here wishing to speak for the liquor license besides the 2 gentlemen? Is there anyone here speaking against? I will close the public hearing.
Motion to approve.
Second. Roll call.
Commissioner Boyle?
Yes.
Commissioner Duda? Commissioner Kraft? Commissioner Morgan? Commissioner Rogers? Commissioner Tusha? Madam Chair. Motion
Yes.
passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
We'll move to committees. The first one that has Finance, Commissioner Kraft and Morgan.
The report is as presented.
Okay.
I might add that we did have a meeting last week. We're going to have another one this week on Thursday, talking about, some of our options, what we can do to reduce cost and make certain that we hopefully won't have a mill levy increase next year. So we've started that process, met with Kathy Kelly and Joe Lorenz and Patrick about the options and want them to report back to us. So the next few weeks, Mark also after the meeting put out a good email about some requests on that. So we're looking at all the options, exempt properties, plus where we can make reductions in the budget. And Commissioner Boyle, we're following up on your comments from 6 months ago and even before I was on the board about mandated services and unmandated services, to really look at those carefully. So all the board will be involved in that.
And if I may chime in, we just had a joint Youth Services Committee and Finance Committee, and other than the fact that Commissioner Rogers gave us some very depressing news, budget-wise, we are working on the process, but we may not have total control. With the news we were given this morning, it's very, very depressing. Thank you.
With that, we'll move to the Child and Youth Services. Commissioner Rogers.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Item 1 is an acceptance of Title V grant award for the Juvenile Assistance Center, and it basically is to increase the bilingual capacity. We'll add a staff there that's bilingual, so I would move to approve.
Second.
Roll call.
Commissioner Boyle? Commissioner Duda? Commissioner Kraft?
Yes.
Commissioner Morgan? Commissioner Rogers?
Yes.
Commissioner Tusha?
Yes.
Madam Chair.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Item 2 is, and Dr. Poore may want to come up now, it's not controversial, but basically was to lift awareness for the commissioners. Let me set the stage. It's a presentation of a council that the health department and the Board of Health are going to set up for a high school citizens advisory council. And this originally started sent by a letter from a gentleman from a local high school asking if he could participate on the Board of Health. It was something we had kind of been throwing across our head, and based on that conversation with the Board of Health, we did some due diligence and established the process to set up a 14-member high school council regards to health. The hook to it is that there will be 2 individuals participating from every commissioner's district. The commissioners are asked to identify a junior and a senior from their district in high school, and they will recommend that person. The Board of Health will approve it, and we will have a youth council to kind of get some input to help us address some youth issues going on, some feedback to the board. So, Dr. Poore, I don't know if you want to add anything to that regard.
Good morning, County Commissioners. Adi Poore, Douglas County Health Director. I just want to talk a little bit about the logistic. I think what you have heard from Commissioner Rogers is really what's the intent of it. We have some eligibility criteria. They must attend a high school located within the county, of course. And they must be either a junior or a senior. They must have the consent of their parent or guardian to participate. And then we have started to setting up an application process for these students. They must complete the entire application form, and the form needs to be signed by the student again and the parent or guardian. Then the applications actually will be sent to you for you to look at, and you then actually can make recommendations on them. The selection criteria, we needed to put some criteria together, not knowing really what the interest is from the students. So one of them is their qualification. One of them, we wanted to know, why are you interested to be on such a health advisory? And then the effort will be made, of course, recommendations from you county commissioners. You may hear from some of these students, you may know some of these students yourself, so we want to get some feedback from you. every effort will be made that we have 2 members from each of your districts. It also will include Catholic high schools, parochial high schools. We also may be looking at that, does the high school have a specific issue that they are dealing with? But on top of it also, we want to have some equal distribution. So we want to have some more rural schools versus some of our inner city schools. We have created a map, and this is too small for you to see, and there is a purpose on it. There may be 1 or 2 errors in it, but this actually shows the high schools that are in each of your districts. And so what I would like to do today or tomorrow probably, come around with a letter that we have prepared that will be signed by you for the high schools in your districts, and will also be signed by the Board of Health chair. The timeline that we have set is you have a resolution on the agenda today. As I said, the applications will be mailed out in the next 2 days. Completed applications are due by October 26th. We then distribute it again to you as commissioners, and then receiving the nominees, and hopefully have the council in place by January, February of this year. This really is becoming more and more important that we try to make connection with our youth, because many of our issues are youth related. And I think it's also an opportunity for them to see what government does, and that's where you come in. You know, they're going to learn about government, learn about specifically public health responsibility that government has, and it really doesn't fall on the private healthcare system. So I'm open to any questions that you may have.
Commissioner Morgan? Commissioner Boyle?
Yes, Doctor, I think first of all this is a terrific idea. I just really am very, very happy to see you come up with this. This is very, very positive. My question is one about the territory with the changes that have taken place with the Learning Council now. Did you give any thought to using the Learning Council boundaries as opposed to Douglas County?
No, we have not. And the reason is that the Learning Council is going over different counties, and we have county health departments in Sarpy County. And so we really have stuck to high schools. And also, it's not where the student lives, but where the student goes to school too. So we really want to use the high school as a learning laboratory,
right.
so to say. No, we have not.
Okay.
On purpose not.
That's fine. That's my question. Thank you.
Commissioner Kraft?
Yes, and this is open to both public and parochial schools.
It is, yes, Commissioner.
What about homeschooled? They don't have a big enough community base, so they're not included.
We have not included them at
Okay.
this time.
And are we looking for kids who might be at-risk kids specifically to participate, to give them a sense of involvement? Or are we looking for the cream of the crop that's not going to get in trouble to begin with?
Some of the thoughts that we have had in this regard is that potentially, you know, if a kid has an interest, it could be an at-risk kid or not, but you have some ambassadors then in those schools who actually could bring those high-risk kids around them. And hopefully there will be some relationship and some trust being built by those. So we don't only want to have the kid who is good in school and really has an interest in it. It would be very good if we would have some high-risk kids. I'm not sure if they have an interest in it, but we'll look at it. And I think that's where it's going to be important to kind of evaluate the applications that are going to come in, and it's going to be important what the interest statement is. Why are they interested to participate? But it is more, you know, these are just really then ambassadors, and hopefully we can bring in a bigger crowd of students around them.
And where will they be meeting?
Where will they
Where?
be? We'll, at the beginning, we'll probably have to meet somewhere where it's easy for them
Good.
to be.
I want that.
Yeah.
Thank you. I have no further questions.
Commissioner Duda?
Thank you. This sounds like a fine idea, Dr. Poor. My question is, who recruits the members of the committee? We send out a mailing, assuming we approve this today, to the schools, and then
Yes.
it's up to the school administration to try to find some kids that would be interested in participating?
We will send it to the principals, actually, of the high schools.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
And I just did a little bit of media interview, and we may do some more to increase the awareness of it.
Very good, thank you.
And I want to add to Commissioner Kraft's comment that, an underlying effect of it too is that if you look at the local workforce investment strategy, one of the top 4 areas of emphasis that they're trying to get people to come into employment is health. And this will kind of give kids a awareness of what the public health issues are. There'll also, be some education components in there that, these kids will be able to be equipped to talk about some issues. At least personally, there's an advocacy role that's there to play that I think that a issue that was on the table way back when you were there. I think our goal is to educate them enough to feel comfortable, to talk to parents, to talk to other peers about a study called the Youth Risk, the YLBS, the Youth Risk Behavioral Survey, an issue that, to a lot of people have been wanting to kind of get that implemented here in Douglas-Sarpy County. We're the only 2 counties in the state that don't participate in it, and it kind of hinders us in regards to accessing some money that could help us with a lot of issues. So it's one of education, it's one of advocacy, and trying to talk to and get a feel for really what's going on with that age population and some of the issues that are concerned.
Commissioner Boyle?
Yes, kind of following up on Commissioner Duda's question about procedures. While you were talking, and when I first saw this, I have in mind at least one student that is in my district. And how do is it possible for me to suggest that person?
Absolutely, and we can give you even an application that you can give to the students. Yes, we'll use as broad an avenue of recruiting these individuals.
Thank
yes,
you.
I will make sure that you get an application.
Thank you very much.
Commissioner Tusha?
Along with that application, could you send us also the copy of the presentation?
I sure will.
I would appreciate it. Thank you.
With that, I'd move for approval.
Second.
Roll call?
Commissioner Boyle?
Yes.
Commissioner Duda?
Yes.
Commissioner Kraft?
Yes.
Commissioner Morgan?
Yes.
Commissioner Rogers?
Yes.
Commissioner Tusha?
Yes.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you, Commissioner Rogers, for bringing this forward. Community Services, Commissioner Duda?
Thank you. We have one item on our agenda, and that is to consider renewing a memorandum of understanding that we have supporting a MAPA, applying for funding for a regional long-range visioning process. We were on record a year ago in support of this, and MAPA is still applying for the funding, and so this is a matter of renewing that support, and Jake Hansen from MAPA is here if anybody has any questions concerning any of that. If not, I would move for the approval.
Second.
Roll call?
Commissioner Boyle?
Yes.
Commissioner Duda?
Yes.
Commissioner Kraft? Commissioner Morgan? Commissioner Rogers?
Yes.
Commissioner Tusha?
Yes.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you, Jake.
Last is the Human Resources, the weekly report as submitted. No legislative issues.
Can I report on something?
What's that?
Madam Chair, can I report on something?
Uh-huh.
I shared it with the chair yesterday, but under legislative issues, we were notified that we have been awarded a Second Chance Act grant regarding the planning process. And I'm just reporting because that was one of the direct grants that the federal group had worked on in D.C. for us. So I don't know what the amount is, and once Catherine gets back and gives me the exact specifics, that's it, but we did get notification that we received some money, and the Fed group did a lot of play in on that. So.
Good. That was definitely good news. Item 3, approval of the limited English proficiency LEP plan for Douglas County. As you know, because we get federal funds, we have to come up with a plan on, it's an limited English proficiency plan, and that's what's attached here. The county attorney has worked this up, and we have to approve it. Do you have any?
Unless anyone has any questions, it basically sets forth reasonable steps that the county will take to address limited English proficiency in dealing with its clients in different departments and offices where that comes up. This plan is kind of a broad plan, if you will, and the idea is that each affected office or department will most likely come up with internal procedures that are more akin to how they run things on a daily basis. But this is a start, and it is a requirement of federal law for those entities who are receiving federal financial assistance.
And I will add that we have Rick Kubite sending out information gathering email on asking departments if they do provide this service, and if so, do they have to provide it? Is it mandated? And if so, who are they having it being provided by? And the thought was, actually, Dr. Poore brought this up at, I can't remember what meeting it was, the Child and Youth Committee, that we have many departments and offices that are providing this, and maybe we can look at how that's being provided and consolidate that in some way. So have you sent that? You have sent that, and I think we've gotten a couple responses, but we're still waiting for everyone to respond, so we'll be bringing that back to the board as well. So with that, is there a motion to approve?
So move.
Second. Roll call.
Commissioner Boyle?
Yes.
Commissioner Duda?
Yes.
Commissioner Kraft? Commissioner Morgan?
Yes.
Commissioner Rogers? Commissioner Tusha?
Yes.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
motion passes.
The last item on the Human Resources is the approval of the 2012 medical premium administrative fee and stop-loss premium increases for our health insurance. And this will be the last year, and then we'll be going out for bid next year on the health insurance. So is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Commissioner Boyle?
I looked this over when I looked this over, and I'm not real happy with the 3% increase to United Healthcare's administrative fee. What kind of a percentage are they taking now? I know a couple of years ago, or I guess the last time this was considered, we got them to drop their fee. Why is this occurring outside of the fact they asked for it?
Patrick isn't here. Does anybody else know?
I believe as we talked to them, they just said that that was their investment in systems and their ongoing cost of 3.3%. When we originally did the budget, we had targeted a 7.2% increase, and so on this blended rate between the administration and the claims, it's coming in at 6.1. So we are coming in with a favorable variance to budget. And as Mary Ann said, we're going to go out and put the RFP out next year. And we went through this with Aon, who we retained as our consultants now, and they didn't raise really any red flags about the 3.3.
So the fee is what is the total fee for United Healthcare's administrative services?
I don't have the exact number on that.
Okay, well, I think a 3% increase is not acceptable. I'm in favor of the rest of it, but I'm not real happy with the 3% increase. I think it's too much. I'm sorry to bring this up at the last minute, but I suppose we could. We could approve this and then come back and try to get it down, but whatever's the best for the county and the taxpayers that's for.
I don't think this goes into effect until 2012, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
So we have a little. So if we brought it back next week, we would still have time.
Okay.
Commissioner Kraft?
If I recall, when we were negotiating last year or the year before for them to reduce their fee, they said it was going to be necessary to have a 3% or a greater increase at this time. And it was part of my understanding during those meetings that this would be hitting this year. The other question is, the 3% is an increase in their fees. So if, let's say, they're charging us 6%, it's 3% of the 6%. Am I correct on that?
The 3% is, it's
It's
just
not
on the
an additional
administrative portion.
3%.
Right,
It's a 3% increase on their portion.
on the administrative portion.
Right.
Right, I know that.
Okay, I just want
But,
to,
Madam Chair, may I ask, what was their fee? I mean, it seems like it was close to, I don't know that it was $500,000 the last time we looked at it, but does anyone know what maybe this is a question for next week, what it means in dollars? I mean, a 3% increase is just a little much for me. I don't care what it's on, what the base is.
If we don't have that answer today, then let's write that down if this is held over for one of those to be Commissioner Morgan.
I was going to suggest that we lay it over. Patrick will be back.
Okay.
We can visit with him a little bit, and I may, Mark, you and I may visit with him a little bit Thursday, so he's prepared for next Tuesday about this when we have our meeting at 1:30. So, do we need a motion to lay it over
As
for
the
a week?
maker of the
I'll
motion,
make that.
I'll pull my motion back
Okay.
that was on the floor.
So
Make a motion to lay it over for a week.
Second?
And I would just suggest that if there are any other questions, to get those to Patrick as soon as possible, so we're ready next week. And then if staff can just make notes of what has been talked about today to get the information. Roll call?
Commissioner Boyle?
Yes.
Commissioner Duda?
Yes.
Commissioner Kraft?
Yes.
Commissioner Morgan? Commissioner Rogers? Commissioner Tusha?
Yes.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
Madam
Motion
Chair,
passes.
I just want to say I really appreciate this, and I apologize for dropping this question on the board.
No, we have time.
Thank you.
Executive session? No executive session.
Wow.
Please note that there is a hiring freeze committee immediately following this meeting. And is there a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Roll call?
Commissioner Boyle, Commissioner Duda, Commissioner Kraft, Commissioner Morgan, Commissioner Rogers, Commissioner Tusha, Madam Chair.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Looking out for me.
Good.
Not how we do it here.